What's up, guys? Welcome to another video of the Republic Holonet. I am your great host, Vladimir Putin, and this is co-host Dr. House. Maybe soon he will be in a house. But our special guest today is none other than the newly somewhat recent appointed Vice Chancellor of Clone Wars, or representative, whatever you like to call him. Come on up, Ellbre.
Thank you, thank you. Hello.
All
Yeah.
right,
Well,
Ellbre.
oh,
I'd like to thank you for being here on this podcast. Right. We're gonna be
Thank you. It
interviewing you.
looks nice in here.
Yeah. We're gonna be interviewing you. Asking you a few questions. Right. So to start off, we're gonna be talking about your journey. All right. Like the steps you took to get to where you are now. Okay. So, first question that I want to ask you is, how did you first come to find UE?
Oh, okay. So I first joined G, okay, back in like December 2022, okay, that sort of time. And like when I first joined, I was a little kid. I was 12. Um, I was a bit naughty. I used to like RDMing people, raiding as well. But um, but yeah, and then around February, I fell in love with like G and UE, and then just kind of like went on from there.
Awesome. That's a great story. Next, Uh, to continue off of that question, what are some of your earliest achievements?
Oh, some of my earliest achievements would probably be back in ISFC because that's where or Starfighter. Again, back in G, that was when like I first started to make a name for myself. I set up the TIE Fighter like academy in G. That was probably my first big achievement. And becoming leader of um ISCU as well, and the aberration squad in G. That was a something that I did pretty well with. Um, but yeah, those were like my first big achievements in GE. And I used them to like kind of prove myself.
Sounds great. Um, Next, what problems, what would be some problems you would have faced through your journey?
I faced like with a lot of problems. You know, it's hard to think of them now, but like a lot of it was raiding. Okay, I used to be, well, I am Supreme Commander of the Special Forces still, soon to retire, unfortunately. But it would be like overcoming new ways. The old clans that we used to raid, they always used to change and adapt to their defenses, and we had to like find new ways, whether that be glitching in a base or finding like different exploits that we could use. Um, as well with like many other issues with like recruitment and stuff like that. But yeah, we had to face a lot, but we managed to overcome it.
Sounds great. So what would be your big thing that got you rolling into greatness?
Oh, okay. I would say that the position that I got that I managed to prove myself the most with is the GO of operations. So the third in command of all special forces, now called the Chief of Staff of Special Forces. Um, but I got that in like January time, 2024, I think. And then, I got to prove myself in all special forces. I had to like, I was one of the first people. I was in RSFC before it released. I helped like release RSFC as the DO. Um, I hosted mega raids in the special forces. I was just like doing quite a lot. As I'm like a very special forces like type of guy in UV. I hosted a lot of stuff and I really did prove myself, and that got me to Supreme Commander and Senator back in RM. Like, I definitely wouldn't be here right now if I wasn't DO. Um, but yeah.
And to continue off on what you just said about Senator, what are your thoughts on becoming RM Senator?
When I was senator, like I was very excited because I had a lot of opportunities. RM had like not too many problems, but it had a lot of problems and it had like a lot of, outdated things. They're the oldest clan they have. So keyword had so many outdated things and like a lot of they have so much potential as well. Not to say Clanless doesn't. Um, but like, me, Coconut Turtle, we had a chat and we like came up with an idea to, get rid of a lot of like old outdated systems. And I'll soon have a chat with whoever becomes, part of the Senate and becomes a Republic senator. How we can evolve Clone Wars. We've got a lot of like good plans soon coming to Clone Wars, like the Jedi and lots of other things that I'm really excited to, bring.
All right, moving on. We'll hand it over to Vlad to ask you some questions.
What's going on, Miss Ellbre? I know this question's weird, but where did you get the name Ellbre?
Oh, okay. So I got the name Ellbre um from mine and my brother's name, okay? So like this used to be a joint account ages ago. So my brother's name begins with an ELL and then my name begins with a BRE. So I decided to like 12-year-old, 11-year-old me at the time decided, why not combine them? And I thought Ellbre, that doesn't sound too bad. And then yeah.
Wow, we'll think about it. Mass Sergeant Ellbre turned into our Deputy Prime Minister. But now we move on to the next question. With your recent promotion as Vice Chancellor, but out of nowhere, due to snowy blitz, I don't know what he did, but he just left the server. Probably treason. Uh, how do you, Jesus? Did you expect to receive the prime deputy prime minister position so quickly?
My honest answer, no. But I definitely thought that like I didn't think that I never planned to be a clan leader, I always thought my highest position would be to see the special forces, but shit happens. Um but no, I wasn't I never really planned to go for prime minister or deputy prime minister, but here I am. Um but yeah.
Wow. Think about it. Nobody started from nothing to get here. This proves that everyone has a chance to get somewhere, even RDMers, if they turn their life around. Well, next question. What are your plans going forward as Deputy Prime Minister?
Oh, so for deputy prime minister, like I plan to, not just for Clone Wars, but help to, help the other clans out, like especially GE. They're not in the best state right now. I help to like stabilize their council, give opinions in meetings, things like that. I want to host a few like joint wide UE events, um, like a joint wide UE war training, like organize another tournament. Um, but yeah, I've got like a lot of ideas, some that I can't say right now. But yeah, I'm looking forward to like working with a lot of the other councils. Um, but yeah, and like obviously with the Royal Institution, I want to make sure all of the different committees and ministries are performing to their fullest. So I've got a lot of new ideas, especially for the RDC, as they're not like since the last vote, they were voted as one of the like most inefficient ones. But I definitely plan to get them more working more efficiently.
Very, very inspirational. You guess you have a lot on the table as Deputy Prime Minister. I could never do that. Well, I'll pass the questions, next questions to Mr. Dr. House.
All right, these are gonna be some fun questions. Um, what made you so interested in special forces?
Oh, not gonna lie to you, like more trainings, raiding, PvP, um, getting to like work with a lot of people. When I was in the special forces, like people in the special forces watching would know, I'd always be hosting events, I'd always be doing war trainings, raids, things like that. Getting to like a leader unit, it's amazing. You get to know the people in the unit. You're their leader. Like, especially if you're a good leader, it can be very good. You get to like be a bit competitive, say if you're going against other units, other special forces. But yeah, like it's just something I really enjoyed doing. Um, and I still will as deputy prime minister, as I'll still get to oversee all special forces. But yeah.
Right? Sounds awesome. Let's see. What was the first unit that you ever joined in Special Forces?
Oh, so I first joined ISCU back in like August or September, 2023. But yeah, I joined around that time. I joined ISCU, and then from there I just worked my way up. So like ISCU, and then I became the leader of ISCU, then DO, and Supreme Commander. Um, it took a long time. It took 1.5 years from then to now.
Yep. Well, you kind of answered the next question I was going to ask, but if you want to provide a more detailed answer, I'll ask it right now. Right. What leadership positions did you gain to get you to Supreme Commander of the Special Forces?
So it was like definitely the DO because I was the only person like fit because at the time there was no 2IC vice commander at the time called vice director, but yeah, it was definitely the chief of staff. I think for like getting to the Clone Wars rep, it was definitely the RM, senator, as like I did quite like well in RM and the Special Forces Supreme Commander.
All right. Next question. Let's see. What was your determination to reach this position?
Honestly, I've never had like that sort of urge to go for higher and higher positions. Um, I used to like quite a while ago, but not anymore. I'd say because I always want to benefit the people, and I know that sounds like a bit corny, but I always like benefiting, the average member in UE. I like I'm always trying to improve everyone's, gameplay, especially in Clone Wars that you always see me when moderating. Um, but yeah, it's trying to make UE better as a whole, I'd say. Especially in the Special Forces, we destroyed entire clans like completely. Not just like in one raid. I'm talking about 3 months of daily raids. We destroyed multiple different clans. Um, but yeah,
Sounds great. We'll move it back on over to Vlad to ask you more questions.
Mr. Ellbre. Well, I think Special Forces did good, shutting down SWCD, CW, however you say them. Would you think they did good,
we did.
Ellbre?
Yeah, we definitely did well. I don't want to like bring attention to them, as per se, but you know, they were the clan that was kind of second to UE, and we managed to fucking like get them gone. Um, that was like definitely one of my highlights in the special forces. Managing to like completely shut down one of the other clans. Yeah, something I'm pretty proud of.
We're all proud of it. We didn't like them anyways. But moving on to next set of questions. Well, this is about Clone Wars now. You ready, Mr. Ellbre?
I'm ready.
Are you positive?
I'm positive.
Let's hope you are. Well, first question. Why were you chosen to be the next Vice Chancellor of Clone Wars?
Okay, so the reason why I was like chosen instead of someone in Clone Wars was because like the state of Clone Wars honestly like wasn't the best. Okay, and the two other options like nobody in council was fully ready to to be vice chancellor. And in RM I was performing pretty well, so I kind of got sent in. Um, but yeah.
Wow, proves the council's unfit, but they'll be fit soon. Next
Yeah,
question.
it'll definitely be fixed. Don't worry.
Yeah. What are some plans for your future as vice chancellor of CW?
Oh, this is another good one. So first of all, like I plan to make sure that every single sub branch like is functioning and functioning properly. So we're scrapping some of the sub branches. I'll tell you this like thing I'm doing right now with Honor Guard, making sure soon they'll be guarding the high command of other UE clans in terms of like their senators, representatives, or potentially even like other higher positions in other clans. Um, with like hopefully in around mid-April, we plan to release the Jedi. Okay, this is gonna be a very good one. I'm not gonna tell you too much about the Jedi, but what I'll tell you is that will be very, very interesting. Okay, with how the Jedi will work, that will benefit Clone Wars greatly. Okay, um, there'll be a lot of different like we'll be adding more roleplay themes into Clone Wars. Okay, I know a lot of people want it. Um, like but yeah, be very, very interesting when the Jedi finally comes out. And as well as like not just the Jedi, I plan to have like a completely stable admins council, but we're already making massive progress with that. And also with the Republic Academy, potentially in the future. Okay, I'll tell you guys this. It's a bit of a secret right now. Um, there may be some vehicles added to Clone Wars, okay? We may have like some sort of licensing academy added to the Republic Academy to train people to use the vehicles and like have a license for them, which will be very, very interesting. Um, and yeah,
Yeah, I don't know how that works. We're all enclosed on a ship. But next question.
on a different map, on a
What?
different map.
Oh, fire. I'll
You
just
know,
ask Ghost. I got you. I'm joking.
hopefully soon, like as Raz has already announced, there'll be a new Camino map. And from what he's already said, it will be like more of a larger scale map rather than like a more like tightly enclosed one like the Venator. So it'll be very, very interesting when that comes out. I'm looking really forward to it.
I'm not looking forward to it getting run over by cars. But next question. What are your thoughts on being chosen now?
Um, that's a difficult one. Uh, I was very honored. I was very thankful to like, especially Abdul, um, for him, like, and the royal cabinet for like choosing me. Okay, so Album was it was the royal cabinet that like selected me as the the only one fit at the time, and Abdul approved it. I'm very thankful to the royal cabinet. Um, honestly, I'll tell you what went through my head. I was like very excited because I realized Clone Wars had so much still has so much potential, and I feel like that was kind of limited by past leadership. Okay, the fact that the clan has almost been up for like a year and there's been no Jedi. Things like that. Um, but yeah, I'm like really excited. I've got like a lot of big plans, soon that I plan to release. I'm sure it'll benefit the clan.
Well, I trust you. I didn't trust Snowy. We all learned the hard way. But did you expect to come this far from when you like started, or did you like have doubts in
No,
yourself?
no. As I already said, I was a naughty boy. I was a naughty kid. Was always, in old G especially, I was always getting myself in trouble. Always glitching, like RDMing. I only like I only thought I was gonna be, ISCU. That was it. Then I only thought, okay, Supreme Commander's gonna be my highest position, and it just wasn't. Um, but yeah, and I'm fairly certain now. I've not gonna get any higher, and I don't really want to get any higher because soon I'll be more busy in real life with school and stuff. But yeah,
That sounds like you might retire, but we're not. It's not hope for that soon.
not yet, not yet, not yet.
Do you do you have anything to say to the people of the UE? Look her in the camera and tell them if you have something to say.
Don't give up, okay? Like, I know there's a lot of people who have been punished before or like feel like they're restricted. Okay, don't give up. Just keep on trying, okay? I used to be, an annoying RDMing little kid, you know. Um, this guy over here, Infinite, he used to have to deal with me in OGE. I don't know if he remembers. But don't give up, okay? You can always come back, from pretty much anything. But yeah, just always try your best, okay? Um, but yeah, that's like pretty much what I have to say.
Don't worry, guys. Ellbre is right. If Elias came back from treason, but last
No, 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 no,
question:
no, no.
do you still have those clips of you glitching in RDM? Yeah.
I think I never saved them, but I think they've been deleted because the GE Discord got nuked. I'm afraid, but yeah, I used to like for those that used to know me back then. I used to be a bit of a squeaker. you know, I was only 12.
Whoa. Well, that is all for today, guys. At least to know that your deputy prime minister used to be a criminal. But that's all for episode 2 of the podcast. We'll be moving to episode 3, God knows when. But say bye bye to our special guest.
Hi guys,
Bye bye,
thank you
Mr.
for
Ellbre.
interviewing.
Bye bye, guys.
That's no problem. See ya.